right. So, my WNBA take for you, Rye, on what's niggling me here. This isn't niggling me. This is an observation that the WNBA has started. And I know current and former pro athletes are ready to scout their prospects. Right?
Yeah.
Now, I think that Cameron Brink is probably my number one pick. If I was trying to find a wife that's out on the courts, I think it would be Cameron Brink. You're an Asia guy, though, right?
Bro. Who?
Asia Wilson?
Rakia Jackson.
Rakia Jackson. I'll check her out.
I follow her.
What do you call it? Asia Wilson, though, Bam Adebayo's got her locked up.
I don't even know what Asia Wilson looks like. What do you look?
She's the past 3 MVP.
Yeah, I think I know what she looks like. I don't think that's for me.
She not dark enough?
No, her face is ugly.
No doubt.
To me.
How do I spell this other girl's name?
She looks too manly.
Bam Adebayo likes her. How do I spell this Rakia girl's name?
I'll send you it right now. Or I'll just let you. Rakia Jackson. No, it's it might be Rick, and then it actually might be Rickea Jackson. I follow her on Insta, but I just found her on Rakia. There she is. She's dope.
I see her.
No, she's dope.
Rakia. She plays for the Los Angeles Sparks.
I need some of that. Well, out there, I could work with a tall girl like that, bro. It'd be so hard.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, I don't think I could really, like, I don't know. I feel like I find that, like, weird to me.
I know it's not common. I'm all about it. I would hope so. 6
Really?
foot? Fuck yeah.
Really?
Fuck yeah. I'd always have a smile on my face. Always. I'd be doing, like, my kids proud. Did you watch all this fucking Chad Ochocinco fucking Theo Von?
No, why?
Because he told Theo about his method. How you pick a mother for your kids.
I think I remember him saying something from the past, no?
Yeah. So he elaborated for Theo, and he's like, I got great mothers for my kids. I got great mothers for my kids. We all get along. I got 8 kids, and I got great mothers. He tells Theo, like, where to take these girls on dates, so you can scout them. He says he's got great mothers. He chose great baby mothers.
He's so funny.
He's so funny. He's one of the most confident fucking people I ever heard talk. He's so confident. He thinks he should be. He thinks like I'll believe it when it happens. He thinks that he is gonna fight James Harrison and have any chance.
Bro, he was saying that he could beat Holloway.
Do you know what James Harrison looks like?
Let me type this in.
Type him in on Instagram, and take a look at. Click one workout video.
Oh, bro, what the? In what?
James Harrison. Click.
No. What's he trying to fight him in?
MMA. You remember when Eddie Hall picked those 2 kids up and 2 men up? He picked those 2 men up and wheeled them around. Bro, don't tell me James Harrison ain't gonna grab Ochocinco and wheel him off his feet. I like Chad Johnson, But bro, James Harrison is a freak of nature. He's one of the genetic freaks of nature on the earth. Everyone can work out, but not everybody can be James Harrison. The guy is fucking 40-something years old and like that.
The guy's huge.
How old is James Harrison? He's huge, bro. Huge. He's so strong and huge. He's 46 years old, bro. Maybe 47. He's 47, I think. And he's huge and strong. I've followed him a long time on Instagram. In his playing days, they have him listed as 6 foot, 242 pounds. Chad Johnson said he probably weighs around 190. 47 years old in 18 days. James Harrison is jacked, and that's insane. If I was Chad Johnson, I would rather box him, because at least he can't grab me.
Yeah.
I would never want, he sacked quarterbacks, bro. You don't want that guy that sacked quarterbacks for a living and has if there's a top 10 all-time NFL plays ever, he has one, and it might be number 1. He has an interception against Kurt Warner when Kurt Warner played for the Arizona Cardinals, where he ran it back in the Super Bowl or maybe, I don't know if it was was it Super Bowl? If it was Super Bowl or the game to go into the Super Bowl, like the conference finals, I can't remember. But it was against Arizona when Larry Fitzgerald played. But he intercepts this ball and runs it back like almost 100 yards. That linebacker, trying to deke out people, like jumping over people for like one of the best plays ever. I don't want to get flagged. How am I going to put this on here without getting a copyright? James Harrison, INTTD. Says made a historic 100-yard interception return touchdown during the Super Bowl in 2009. Bro, it's one of the best ever. I don't want to get a copyright. Please don't copyright me, YouTube. Look how grainy this shit is. Bro, we can't be watching this in this fucking type of footage. 2009. Quality was better than this. Let's take off the volume. Best interception return ever, though. You should look it up. It's the craziest. Or it's one of the craziest plays in the Super Bowl. A linebacker doing this. It's at James Harrison. Just type INTTD. 100 yards to end halftime at the Super Bowl.
Arizona?
Yep. On Kurt Warner, Anquan Bolden, Larry Fitzgerald out there.
Didn't Falcons still win?
Huh?
Didn't the Falcons win, though?
Arizona Cardinals? No, they lost.
I mean, Arizona? Are you sure?
Yep.
You promise?
I'm very sure.
I'm looking at.
That game was nuts. I was in North Bay then. That game was crazy.
Pittsburgh won 27-23.
Crazy. Right?
Yeah, I probably watched it if it was Bolden and
Larry Fitzgerald. Kurt Warner at quarterback, and James Harrison had this touchdown. 100 yards, this motherfucker. Strong. Worked hard. Strong. Bro, so let me play you this. Listen to this, okay? So Amanda Knox. I'll tell you about her. I told you about her yesterday, right? I mentioned her.
Yep.
She, a long time ago, I don't know what year, can't think of it. Fuck. I guess I'll fucking Google and it'll tell me the year real quick. Amanda Knox. 2007. Okay, she was wrongfully convicted in 2007, okay? Of killing her friend in Italy. That she was like, went to school, American girl, went to university or college, I don't fucking know, in Italy, like, I'm not 100% sure what for. While she's there, someone breaks in the house and kills her friend, her roommate. And I don't know. Sexually assaults her? I don't really know. I think so, but I can't remember. It's a long time ago. And they blame it on Amanda Knox, this girl. And I remember like Nancy Grace making her out to be a slut on CNN and shit. And all the other fucking news outlets making her out to be a slut. And that her, Amanda Knox, and her boyfriend at the time killed her. And she spent 4 years in jail over there. And eventually got out. It's been a long time since it happened. It's hard for me to remember it all. But she gets out eventually. She didn't do it. It was like a guy that broke in and did it. And he's in jail. No.
How long was she in there?
4 years. And then I think she went back in there. I think they like retried her and put her back in there. Can't 100% remember. Fuck. I gotta go to the fucking internet. Amanda Knox. Convicted in 2007. In 2015, acquitted. This guy Rudy got 30 years in for it after, later reduced to 16. But it says in their initial trial, because they made her stay in jail while this all went on, 2009, Knox and her boyfriend were convicted and sentenced to 26 and 25 years in prison. And then she appealed and eventually got out. But she was in there for a long time. I want to know, Theo might have even had her on a long time ago. But I watched the What with Joe before. Yeah. Theo might have even had her on.
No.
Someone did besides Joe Rogan that I watched her on. Yeah. They have, and it's a long time ago because I can see. It's 2019. It's way before Joe had her on. And it was interesting when I heard her way back, because I remember, because she was young, like she was 20 or whatever when she went to jail, and so it made her weird because she was in jail for a long time. You know what I mean? It makes that person weird. Like their social interactions are really weird, especially when you're in jail for murder. So I imagine you're not with very stable people, right? So I remember she was weird, and I think you know what I remember? What the thing that Theo and her related in a conversation to, I remember, was the love of Renaissance fairs. You know what those are? When people do reenactments of like fucking back in the day. Fucking Ren fairs. Theo knew about reenactments of, like, I don't know, maybe the Revolutionary War, Civil War, or something like that. He knew all about those fucking reenactments, the Civil War reenactments. And I remember him saying something like, it's like like when she was talking about Ren Fair, it would be like that, like pretending, being in the, you know what I mean? Like being in the whole mindset the entire day or even days of hundreds of years ago, acting like that, talking like that. So weird. But then the craziest thing that Amanda Knox said to Joe Rogan this last time, and I thought she was maybe being a little flirtatious, even though she has a husband and kids, was when she says this to Joe Rogan. Listen to this. Oh, let me get my volume up. What did I just click? What's that button? Huh, who knows what that button does? Fuck, right? Where's my remote? Oh, great. A fucking train's going by.
You don't like that?
Fuck, no. Oh, shit. Why is it so low?
I'm still, like, trying to figure it out, and I think that's good. I think, yeah.
We're all, like you said, we're all interconnected. We're all learning together. You know, and the only thing you can do is do your best. Do your best.
Okay.
Do your best.
Is that the advice?
Do your best. Yes.
Is that advice, Daddy?
With everything.
Bro, I was like, that is crazy to be saying. I was like, that's crazy that you just said that on the Joe Rogan podcast. That was crazy.
Someone insane would say.
Huh? That's, yeah. I couldn't believe it. Bro, then there's another point in here where she tells Joe Rogan that when she meditates, it makes her horny.
Jesus.
She's smart, she's read a lot of books. I'm telling you that I could tell when I listened to this. He talked to her for 3 hours and 22 minutes. And I could tell she's read a lot of books and did a ton of thinking. Tons of thinking about herself and tons of reading. That's what I got from Amanda Knox, is that she thinks a lot. She's a thinker about things in life and people. That it was a good 3 hours and 22 minute conversation. Because she's a thinker. She was asking Joe questions because she's a thinker. She's weird though, but I understand. But it's crazy that this girl, they tried to pin her neighbors or her roommate's murder on her and her boyfriend, that they were like in a sexual a throuple, that they were in a throuple. The whole media, I remember back then, was that she was this like promiscuous girl and there was just jealousy and then she murdered her. And it's like, because like her and her boyfriend's DNA are all over the apartment and stuff like that, right? And they just painted her like that. But it was this guy that broke in and murdered her. But pretty wild. And she called Joe Daddy.
That's even better.
She called Joe Daddy, and I was like, that's wild. You ever remember me telling you that back in the 90s, even though you weren't gonna watch any of those movies, that there was just so many movies about war in the Middle East and going and just fighting in the desert, like choppers, like the fucking propeller noises, and then they fucking fly into fucking the desert and just kill a bunch of people that they would be like, say like everyone's terrorists over there, basically. Remember me saying that there were so many movies back then?
Yeah.
It's because of the Pentagon's film department, known as the Department of Defense Entertainment Media Unit, works closely with Hollywood to provide resources and oversight for film productions. The department has a significant influence over the content of films and television shows, often requesting script changes and reviewing material to ensure it aligns with military interests. The Department of Defense has been involved in more than 2,500 films and TV shows, providing support and resources to filmmakers in exchange for favorable portrayals of the military. This collaboration includes access to military equipment, locations, and personnel, which can be crucial for the realism and authenticity of productions. Oh, fuck, I pressed down. It doesn't work on that. Where am I at here? Filmmakers who seek Pentagon assistance must submit their scripts for review. If the script does not meet DoD's approval, the project may be denied support. The DoD can also request changes to the script to align with its strategic interests. Despite this level of involvement, the Pentagon does not outright censor films that portray the military negatively. However, the lack of support can be a significant deterrent for filmmakers who wish to use military resources. This indirect influence can lead to self-censorship, as filmmakers may choose to align their content with Pentagon preferences to secure necessary resources. The DoD's involvement in Hollywood has been the subject of documentaries and academic research highlighting the extent of its influence and the portrayal for propaganda. And then I go over here, and this says, during World War II, the United States sought to use entertainment as a form of propaganda. In 1943, the Office of Strategic Services, a precursor to the CIA, circulated a memo stating the cinema is one of the most powerful propaganda weapons at the disposal of the United States, and recommended the voluntary cooperation of all motion agencies not under the control of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The United States Office of War Information utilized cinema for its own ends to rally the public behind the war effort. Director Elmer Davis stated, "The easiest way to inject a propaganda idea into people's minds is to let it go in through the medium of an entertainment picture when they do not realize that they are being propagandized." Interesting, eh?
That's weird as fuck.
That's weird. Let me tell you a few of the movies, okay? Transformers in 2007, Transformers in 2009, Transformers in 2011, Transformers 2017. Twister, which is an interesting one about tornadoes. I'm curious about the weather, like how they don't want to portray any weather modification stuff, even though they definitely do that now.
Oh, 100%. Trying to talk with something.
You said you watched the Top Gun movie, right?
Yeah, the second one.
Both of those Top Guns are from the Pentagon, part of the Pentagon program. What's this movie? I feel like I know this movie. Maybe I don't know. The cover doesn't look familiar. The Messenger. Woody Harrelson. A Star Trek that I never watched. I see. Silence of the Lambs, bro. That's trippy. That's, I guess, because it's based off a real person, like a real serial killer that ate people.
Mm-hmm.
They made a lot back in the day. They made a lot of, which is funny that they teamed up with Hollywood, so that's why there's so many Holocaust movies and stuff.
Oh, true.
It made so much sense when I seen that Pet Cemetery. That's such a trip that they would be involved in Pet Cemetery. Bruh, the Karate Kid. That's awesome. James Bond movies. Not all of them, but some of them. Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2. And what's crazy is that Iron Man, especially that first one, that type of technology, which I had never really seen before, is what Mark Zuckerberg was telling Theo Von. That's what his plan is. Like, so that you can have hologram screens that you're using. The glasses is just pulling up hologram screens.
Fuck. I don't like that.
Make as much stuff that is physical, take away as much physical things as you can. That's his goal. I am legend.
Fake.
Huh?
Everything's fake.
Yeah, you can just see everything with your glasses. Like, we can sit when they were talking about me and you being able to sit across from each other wearing the glasses and being able to have a invisible ping pong table in front of us and play ping pong.
So fucked.
That's insane. That's like Theo said that he was playing that with a guy in the back room, like on that podcast, and I'm like, bro, the crazy things that are coming, is it going to be awesome? Like the basketball, bro, I can't wait to play 2K like that. I can't wait. I know it's coming. GTA, I know it's coming. It's gonna, but what that does is make us zombies. It makes us not do anything because of how cool the virtual will be. And we'll not physically do anything anymore, really.
And that's where we turn into these alien-looking things.
I know. You gotta go to the gym at least. You gotta make sure that you go lift at least. Go spend 2 hours a day. You're like being in shape behind enemy lines.
They're gonna make money on this, so there should be new jobs on there, right?
What?
There'll be a lot of new jobs to be fulfilled on those kind of things, right?
Like making, I guess, the virtual reality stuff.
I mean, inside those worlds, though.
Oh, interesting.
That people will make that it'll be like somehow people will start businesses and stuff inside those, right? And be able to.
That's an interesting concept.
And then there'll be a whole new, hopefully a whole new set of jobs people will be able to get.
Are you talking about like you own a fucking banana store in the virtual world? There's a fruit store, like, or what are you talking about though? What's your vision?
Exactly, I'm talking about that exactly. I'm literally talking about
this world goes into the virtual world.
Yeah, because you're gonna want to dress, you're gonna want to look sick. Eventually, they're gonna monopolize it like that, right?
My only thing is that I think people want to go into this virtual world to get away from this world.
Yeah, that's not how it'll work.
I know. I can see your point.
People always flex.
I know. I can see your point.
People flex harder when it's not their.
No, what?
Like, huh?
What did you say?
People will flex harder when it's like an avatar of you, and then if it's your real person's.
Right, because like just like how people will talk shit on the internet, but they won't do that in person. That's how it will be easy to get people in.
That's the Matrix.
Yeah, yep.
Trippy, I've never. I feel like I've seen it and I've never seen it.
I know, eh? You should watch it. Like the first couple there, like go real good. The first, because they're, let's see, like they're made around the same years. You know what I mean? There's not huge big breaks. When you watch those ones, it's like, man. And then think about what today's like. It's so crazy. First one in 1999, then the second one in 2003, and then the third one in 2003. Like that's what, since they were made in that close together, it keeps the plot in the like really
trippy.
Yeah, like you have, that means you have like, if I don't know, if they're all an hour and a half, you know what I mean, then you have 4.5 hours of a story. That can be it's a pretty crazy story that they cover in 4.5 hours. And then they make another one in 2021, which is good, but those three go together like to build an insane multiple worlds.
Trippy.
And
you see all of them?
Yeah, and then like how crazy it is from in 1999 that The Matrix coming out, that even that plot and the futuristic, like the imagination has a lot of similarities to our reality right now. That's what's crazy. And it's a realistic near future of possibilities. Because these rich tech motherfuckers watched and read all of these movies and books like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and all these things, man. They name their things off of that, like those kind of things. They like you'll see a lot of similarities of like things from books and stuff like that Peter Thiel and these guys will use to name their companies and stuff like that.
Perfect.
They like the futuristic tech stuff, because these guys have to get they have to. There's some people that literally can read some futuristic thing and think, I can make that a reality. What do you got going on?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see how the Clippers probably feel pretty stupid?
What would they do?
They traded Shea, right?
Mm-hmm.
For Paul George, but they also traded all that stuff with it, right? So they traded Gallinari. What is it,
Gallinari? Danilo?
Yeah. They traded him. Then the next year they had a first-round pick, so they got Trey Mann. The next year they got another first-round pick. They got Jalen Williams. They have another first-round pick next year. They picked Dylan Jones and a 20. Like they Clippers fucked up so bad. And they got Paul George that doesn't even fucking play.
Mm-hmm.
It makes $52 million.
It's crazy.
What an idiot, eh?
That's crazy. He seems like a nice guy, though. I've seen him on a lot of pods and stuff. Seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, he's definitely a cool guy.
One of the coolest, funniest people out there is Jeff Teague. Jeff Teague kills it on his podcast. He's got all the stories.
I've seen that.
He
I see a lot of clips of him.
Yeah, because he's got all the stories. And some are, like, not many are favorable to him, to be honest. Out of all the stories he tells, a lot of them are, like, people fucking him over and shit. Like, it's just, like, getting the better of him. Like, people, like, a lot of his stories are like, damn, man. Like, damn. Like, they're funny. He's a funny motherfucker. I was thinking, I got one other guy here. So I use the Brave browser a lot. You know it?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, since I realized that ExpressVPN, I gotta put this on the dark or nobody can see it. That's what I noticed. If I have a white screen up, then it just is a glare on the video. But so you gotta make it dark mode. Yeah, and once I noticed ExpressVPN was the Israeli guy there, I was like, who does Brave? And it's Brendan, and his last name is EICH. So I'm like, interesting. And I was like, huh?
Ike?
Yeah. And then I seen they put in here, I don't know anything about his family, but he's a Roman Catholic, so I know his parents are, I don't know, probably German. But I was like, okay, he's not Israeli bot.
First.
But my one thing I did unfortunately see was that he was with Mozilla before. You know that browser?
Yeah.
Before he did Brave, he did Mozilla. And that is with Reid Hoffman. You know that guy?
I know who it is. I think I don't know, recognize the face, but I know the name.
I put his face is right here, and this guy's a buddy of Epstein's. He's a buddy of Epstein's, this guy, and a Bilderberg member for a long time. This guy right here is a piece of garbage right here, and this guy is a funder of lots of things I don't like. All super liberal, not just kind of basic liberal, super liberal. This guy loved Joe Biden and loved Kamala Harris. He was buddies with Epstein, and now he's a very intelligent person. His IQ is very high, but I do notice a lot of those high IQs are sick motherfuckers. And this is a sick motherfucker right here. And he's been in the circles of Mark Carney 1000% if he's a long-time Build-A-Group guy. But he's huge into AI, massive in AI, this guy. He's only 57 years old. He's a fat fuck though, and a piece of garbage. Has a wife, doesn't matter. Bill Gates' wife, Melinda, was disgusted in Jeffrey Epstein. But this guy's wife, Michelle Yee, can't click on her name.
Not popular enough?
I'd say, I don't know if I feel really bad for her or that she's a hostage almost, maybe. I don't know. But I know this guy's a sick fuck. A gross human. But super smart, man. Super smart in the internet world. Super smart. Reid Hoffman. PayPal, eBay, Facebook. Bro, he was all over Zuckerberg, like when Facebook was, like he was an initial guy just like Peter Thiel. This guy's all over tech. He's in the top circles in all the tech talk, but he's a super progressive piece of garbage. And he's not a progressive person. This guy's a piece of shit. But he funds the hardcore progressives. And he likes monopolies because he tried to get the woman that was trying to break up monopolies during Biden's thing. He tried to get Lena Khan fired. And I'm pretty sure they did fire her in the end anyways, because I know Trump, everyone wanted Lena Khan wanted to break up monopolies. And all these people, like Peter Thiel, right? He said, no more democracy. We're done with that. That's not how we're going to run things anymore. He wants to monopoly. All these guys want monopolies over everything. They want to...
Power and money.
Yeah. Power and money. Exactly. That's what it comes down to. Power and money.
That makes poorer people poorer, though, right? That goes like...
Yeah, they don't care.
Nasty.
They care nothing about that.
No, they don't care about death and all that.
No. There's classes of people. Like those black nobility people, those kings and queens, those are the ruling class. That's how they feel, the ruling class still. Different rules. There's like above the law. You got any other things going on? Let me see what I got going on in mine. Any recent tabs?
If I sent myself anything here.
Big support for Ukraine lately, eh? I see a bunch of people around the world still. Those are the people that are support Israel, though. Because they got that big, remember I was telling you, the big push, the big, there was like a Jewish empire at one point in like, it was like part of Ukraine, part of Turkey, and I don't know, part of another area, like what's now Turkey, what's now Ukraine, what's now something else. There used to be a Jewish empire back, I don't know, in the 1200s or 1300s, one of those. And so I've seen a lot of support lately for Ukraine because all the support's gone for Israel. It's just trippy because like, in more recent history, Ukraine, the people that were what is now Ukraine, were fighting with the Nazis against the Soviets because the Soviets were starving them. It's super interesting how who's been on the land before, what's happened on the land before.
Yeah, who really was the first one there?
I say if you add up all the Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza and you add up all the Israelis in Israel, I'll say you put them all together. That's like gotta be 12 million people, maybe 12 to 13 million people. You take them all, that whole Palestine, Israel, put them all those people together, and I bet you there's more people that write their name, write Palestinian, and then they take a DNA test. I bet you have more Palestinian people that are actually Semites and actually Jewish nationality. Now there might be 7 million there that claim Jewish religion, but there is not 7 million there that are racially born Semites. there's going to be more Palestinians in there that when they do a DNA test, that it marks right there. It doesn't go anywhere else. It doesn't. You know how ours pops up regions all around the world? I bet you if you take all those 5 million-ish, roughly 4 to 5 million Palestinians between the West Bank and Gaza, they're going to do their DNA test, and their regions are going to be right around there. And you go do it to the 7 million in Israel, and it's going to go all over fucking Europe. All over for the majority of them. For the majority. A high majority. They're all going to, their regions in their DNA test are going to go all over Europe and not stay in that fucking region. So I would say that gives them more right to that fucking land than those Europeans that came and said, I'm a religious Jew, and I deserve this land.
God promised.
Even though my ancestors were never here. But my religion says that I get to be here. Fuck that. Fuck you, and fuck that. That's dumb. Someone wrote it in a book that if I convert to Judaism, I get to take this land. Fuck that. I had something about the Pope. Where is it? Right here. There's a documentary a long time ago I seen, and I think there was one that happened more recently on Netflix, but there's one from a long time ago about this girl that disappeared in Vatican City a long time ago. Did it ever pop up on your algorithm before?
No.
Well, this girl's brother's been looking and has never given up since 1983. There's been tons of theories, and not like the Vatican City is fucking tiny, right? So what I have here is it says the Holy See began an investigation in January. It's been 40 years, and they're gonna look into it. But this current Pope had to have known about it, they say. Are you awake?
Yeah, you?
It says this girl's disappearance has also been linked to a wave of financial scandals at the Vatican Bank and an alleged sex ring run by Vatican police and the mafia.
Nice.
Vatican City. I've had my suspicions about him for a long time because it just never adds up. Why we get so much of the movies like I told you about and stuff. Why don't we know about, or why didn't Hitler, of all the historians, if any historian ever watches this, why didn't Hitler try to go into Vatican City, and why didn't he go into Switzerland? Why not? Because I don't understand why. Were they teammates? Is that why? Were they secret teammates? That's what it leads me to believe, that they were teammates. Fuck. I swear. Javier Milei. Hitler died in Argentina. I swear, man. I swear. It says there's no evidence. In 2025, a report by the Daily Mail cited a former CIA officer, Bob Baer, who suggested that declassified documents from Argentina might challenge the official account of Hitler's death. However, these documents are expected to shed light on Nazi escape networks and the alleged protection offered to Nazi figures by successive Argentine governments, rather than directly proving Hitler's survival or death in Argentina. Will it be covered? Right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're laying down.
No.
Yep.
No. Reading some.
This guy's alive right now.
I don't know.
He's 72. I'd like to have a chat with him.
Think it's possible?
American author and a former CIA case officer who was primarily assigned to the Middle East.
Just imagine the things they were doing to those people.
I'd love to have a discussion with Bob Baer. Baer speaks 8 languages and has won the CIA Career Intelligence Medal. This guy knows a lot of stuff for sure. This book seems very interesting. Does this guy tell the truth, you think? He's written Sleeping with the Devil, which explores the relationship between the Saudi royal family and the United States. Bob Baer, I bet you have tons of stories. If this guy said that Hitler died in Argentina, why wouldn't that be fucking true? Why wouldn't we believe somebody like this? Oh, he hosted this Hunting Hitler show that Tim Kennedy did. That's why he believes this, eh? Because he saw so much German stuff in multiple South American countries. This guy got to see it for his own eyes and then got definitely interested. Bob Baer. Damn, must be cool to have as much information as that guy has. I'm gonna have to look up more about this guy, because some of these guys are disgusted with what happened over the years, and they decide to tell the truth. Wonder if he's one of them. Connect a few dots with the Saudis. You got anything else?